Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Fly With Us podcast. This podcast is bringing the art of conversation, self-love, self-care, mental health care and protection, life lessons, love lessons, and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about being in the moment and being in the now. I'm Lady Bounce.
And I am A Slate.
When you hear the phrase, be in the moment, what do you think of?
Being present right now. Yeah, that's it.
Being present. I am here. I am breathing. I am solid. I am grounded.
Mm-hmm. Not what happened yesterday. Not what's about to happen in a minute. Not what we think about to happen. No. It's right now. Me sitting here looking at your T-shirt. I love that. I'm here to educate.
This actually came from, I can't even recall it, but it came from a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And the robot, when he said things, he said it in threes. So
I'm here to educate.
Exactly. So I'm here. That is my purpose. I believe that is my purpose. It's the only thing I've done in my life that brings me joy, even in the bad moment. So I know that's how I know it's my purpose. Because even when I do have a bad day, I still come home and be like, I'm going to do it again tomorrow. I'm going to subject myself for this same punishment, the same whatever.
Punishment. It's not punishment.
Right. No, not punishment. But I mean like the same. I'm going to subject myself to all of this again tomorrow because that is my passion. That is my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's working for me.
It works if you work it. It works if you work it. But you just said something that made me think of something I just saw. Okay, a second ago, but right now I'm going to share with you a quote by shout out to leader teacher Ali.
Yes.
Shout out to Ali. Here's a quote that he shared with me by Dr. Mitchell Gibson. I once heard a great man say, "If you don't know what your purpose is, your job is to find out why you don't." So in this moment right now,
that's heavy.
You can find out why you don't know your purpose. But acting in purpose, and speaking of T-shirts,
Ali actually has a book that I'm just about done reading, but it's called the Purpose Manual. And it's like a workbook. So I'm working through it and answering the questions, and the whole book is geared toward helping you find your purpose. Because so many times we go, well, why am I here? I don't like my job, but I like my job, or I like my life, but I don't like my life. And what's my purpose? And looking for all of these outside entities to tell you what your purpose is or where you should be going. When really and truly, the only person that can answer what your purpose is you.
Come on now.
So being in line with that quote, you have to figure out what your purpose is, and nobody else can tell you. I can't tell you your purpose is to be X, Y, and Z. You have to figure out what that is.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's making me think. Now I'm so stuck in right now. I gotta think.
But in being in that moment, you went to Dave Chappelle's juke joint.
I did.
And you pulled some jewels from it.
I did. And I'm wearing this T-shirt on purpose. I'm wearing my I Am Moon Power T-shirt. Yes. Yesterday, it was that was the closing of that full moon. You know, so I'm wearing this I Am Moon Power T-shirt. This is Sierra Leone's brand. And in that moment, man, listen. All right. All right. Shout out to some people. Hey, Felicia Chappelle, Sierra Leone. Who else was there? Candy, man, the tap dancing sensation. Candy was there. I mean, it was so many beautiful people that I got to see and enjoy that moment with you can get your T-shirt at IamMoonPower.org too, in case you want one. And I got a T-shirt there. We went over to the T-shirt stand and we had the Dave Chappelle Juke Joint T-shirts. I mean, he had this amazing T-shirt with his son and another cat had collaborated on. I mean, it was super dope. It had like stick figure pictures on there, but they were words. Like there was a yellow spring and it was symbolic of Yellow Springs.
Wow.
And then there was people eating from the food trucks, Miguel's Tacos was there. There was music being played outside. The full moon was shining. We were in a barn outside, in the field. And I just was like, what am I doing here? And I was like, shoot, our phones was locked. We had them with us, but they were locked. We couldn't pull them out. And I was like, no work.
Wow.
No calling, checking on nothing.
No mail.
No email. Shoot, I'm about to enjoy this. I'm about to enjoy this. So I just went ahead and just started living in the moment. And then it was getting a little late, and Sierra Leone was about to leave, and she like, hey, you want to walk around? You may not get this moment again, walk around. And I've been wanting to walk up that ramp towards that barn for a minute. I got to walking up the ramp and found out that my bracelet was one of the bracelets that's supposed to be on the inside where the action was, some more action was. So I got in there, and I ended up getting pushed on up to the front. David Banner kissed me on the forehead and said, I love you, God has come through. What? That God box opened up. Yeah, and I mean, that was beautiful. I had met him before. Chris Rock was there. His wife was there. Who else was there? David Banner. We had De La Soul, Cat from Tribe Called Quest. Of course, we got to mention Fred. That harmonica he played was so amazing. Fred Yannick. Yeah, he played for Stevie Wonder at an award show with David Chappelle, and then Stevie Wonder like, hey, I'm taking you on tour. Wow. He's French, and he is just amazing.
Yeah, now I gotta go look him up.
He's just amazing. And the No Name Band, I mean, come on. They just were sick. They were just sick. And the DJ was sick. Everything was just sick. But the thing that I got from there was this. Dave Chappelle said that they had bought tickets to go to a Prince concert. And it was the show happened to be the night that they were going to celebrate the homegoing of Fife, right?
Fife Dog.
Yeah, so they were going to do that, and they like, we'll catch him at another show. And then he said that that time never presented itself again because Prince never did another show. And so he encouraged everybody in the building and outside in that space to do it now, live in the now, be present, live and enjoy, what we have right now. And I was like, yeah, because you may not get another opportunity to do that. And I just thought that was just beautiful. And we just sang and laughed and danced and just was being ourselves. I had my locks free for a minute. And then I wrapped them up because, my head was getting a little hot. Yeah, it was really beautiful to be out with a bunch of people just living their blessed life and just having fun and listening to some music in a juke joint.
In the juke joint. And I was so jealous that when the tickets went on sale and people were like, the tickets are already sold out.
Yeah, like 20 minutes, I think it was.
I didn't even get to click the link yet. Wait, church finger.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I was like, of course I knew, that it would definitely be an event for the ages because he's done it before, I guess. And people have said, if you missed it and, you just missed everything. And I was like, I know.
I mean, there was a part in there where Fred Yannick had asked the audience to sing along on some singing parts of a couple of songs, and so we la la line, right? We la la line, but then the band stopped playing, and this is all you hear, and it's getting louder and louder. I mean, and this vibration is moving, and then they start playing, and then the lights are shifting, and especially when they did the Purple Rain and the purple light came on, and the ambiance of it all. Man, I felt like I was at the Color Purple with Suge, and Juke joint. I mean, I felt like you get that good feeling when you go in the basement, with your family and they having their good fun listening to their music. I mean, it just felt good. It felt like family. It felt like a lot of love and community. It just felt good. Felt real good.
I know, it's like I don't even know what to say in that regard. And you also talked about how regular, quote unquote, Dave Chappelle is.
I mean, like, he's super, super regular and humble and down to earth.
Yes.
And then he like everybody that left, everybody left. And then he like, y'all that's still here, guess what? We get to keep being ourselves. you know, and it felt good because so often I can hear myself if I'm not using my voice, like, hello, no, hello. Right. And then you just really relax. I relaxed in being present and just being me and being grateful. I was grateful outside in the cold, and I was grateful to be there. I was grateful that the spirit came down, as she said, and Sierra Leone encouraged me to move around, and then she even offered her gloves to me. But I wasn't. I was happy, but I wasn't. I wasn't ungrateful, even if I had to be outside and enjoy it from outside. In that moment, I was grateful for the experience, period, you know, and even to go inside, the entire experience is something I had never experienced before and probably will never get to experience again, maybe, but I got to experience it.
No, we're gonna speak it into existence, and we're gonna claim it that you are going to have such a powerful experience. Again.
Oh yes, and I'm gonna put this out here for everybody to hear. I declare and I decree that when I get to experience it again, I will touch that mic. And don't get it twisted. I'm a poet, baby. I'm a spoken word artist, and I will be doing poetry for Mr. David Chappelle.
Yes, because you have to change his mind after he
said that he has to have comedy. He has to have the music, or he can't live. He said, but if he doesn't have poetry, he could live. And I said, no way. He said that poetry was. As soon as he goes out, you know, he goes out and he got his lady with him, and they having a good time. And as soon as the poetry comes, is this is that and this is that and black and poetry ain't all that all the time. So I gotta change. I gotta change his mind. I gotta shift the atmosphere on that.
Yeah, I definitely. When it comes to spoken word and spoken word artists, I definitely appreciate what you do and how you do it in terms of your voices, your inflections in your voice, and not meaning your voice as in tone and connotation, but what you're saying. It comes out a different way depending on what it is. Like, you're on several of Jay's songs, but you sound different on each song based on what the content of what you're saying is. So the fact that you have this amazing ability,
praise God,
to be able to change it based on, you know, what you're talking about, it conveys the feeling, it passes on the meaning. If it's a serious poem, I'm there. If it's a poem where you got me fired up and I'm ready to go out and march or, you know, sell bean pies or whatever it is, you have that in your voice that sets the tone for, you know, for the songs, or and when I see you in public performing at different things, I feel the emotion behind the words. So it's not just words.
Thank you. Yeah, it's more than words for sure.
Definitely. But
that's why I definitely wanted to get that. I wanted to touch that mic. And you know what's so crazy? When he leaned right in front of me to talk to someone that was behind me, he was talking to them. I mean, the mic was like right there.
You should have just took it.
I reached up. I touched it. But I didn't want to interrupt their conversation. I didn't want to be rude. But I'm like,
I don't think it would have been rude. You should have just grabbed the mic and do what you do.
Yeah, I should have acted on the moment in that now moment. Because somebody had even asked me, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I do spoken word. And she like, yeah, are you going to do poetry? I was like, not tonight, but I will. I was like, yeah, I will. If it happens, I will.
Absolutely.
See, yeah. So
you should have. I mean,
yeah.
Think about it this way. What's the worst that could happen?
Right. Take a risk. I should have took that risk. But next time I will. If there will be a next time.
There will be.
There will definitely be a next time. I mean, it just was a real good vibe. It felt so good. Great music, great fun, great energy. I mean, it was just an abundance of love, respect, and honor. I mean, because they saluted. They saluted so many artists in that moment. And then the big thing that I shout out to Dave Chappelle. I mean, and all the people that worked on making that happen. But one of the things he had on the T-shirt, other than the Yellow Spring, that he and his son had on there was, "Why not Ohio?" I mean, and it was like people have been asking, why do you want to bring these French international artists to Yellow Springs, Ohio? Why? He said, why not Ohio? And I mean, thank you for that, because had that not happened, had that not been there, we might not ever had, see. So thank you for that. I mean, why not? I mean, I'm telling you, this man was a genius with that harmonica. And how you said about the words, how I can change the voice and the inflection and this, that, and the other, and cadence and connotation. The way that his body moved to play that harmonica, you could tell when he really felt it in his spirit. The energy he got from the audience singing along, he kind of like the spirit caught it.
He absorbed it.
And then he grabbed that harmonica. I mean, in the way he moved, you could just feel it just move through him. I mean, it just was, Yes, I know the trumpet player. I mean, I just can go on and on and on about it. But the gems there was just be present, be here, live it, enjoy it, be grateful, and give back, and never ever forget where you come from. I mean,
that's the biggest piece.
Never forget.
Right there is so many people, you know, they quote unquote make it, and then they forget where they're from. They move to Atlanta, they move to LA or New York or some other big city, and you forget, you know, where you came from, because you're so much bigger than the little hometown you came from. But Dave Chappelle's always been one of those people that, like, I like my fame, I appreciate my fame, but my hometown is what made me, and I'm always gonna give back. I'm always gonna shout it out. I'm always gonna, you know, do what I can to put it on a map. When he showed up to the town hall meeting, to like their city commission meeting, I was done. I said, did he just walk into the city commission meeting and was fighting on the right side of a cause that was, you know, dear to him? And I was like, that's amazing. That's using your star power. Not using your star power to, you know, to bring awareness to a cause that we already see everywhere. You know, we know that there's, you know, abused animals, or we know that this happens or that happens. But for him to rally behind a cause that was a big cause and a big deal in his hometown,
in his community,
it made me appreciate him more. It made me admire him even more. And having met him and shook hands with him, beautiful. And you know, he's come to some get downs and literally partied right beside us.
I remember he said he helped someone. Didn't he help somebody? Somebody needed some assistance.
Yes, you know, and you and I did put that moment on Facebook because it was amazing to me that you know, here's this star, and he's there with his friends, and my friend lost her balance and she fell, and he helped me pick her up off the floor. And I'm like, beautiful. That was amazing, because he very well could have been like, and kept on walking, and then I'd have been struggling to pick her up and having somebody else going 911. Can somebody help? Because
I mean, it's just beautiful to see. I mean, and I even think now, I might be mistaken, but I doubt it. I think Stan Lathan was in the building. I think I heard someone say Stan Lathan was there. And,
he may have been, because they do a lot together.
I believe that's who I was looking at. It looked right to me. Another thing I did shout out, just Dave Chappelle, Yellow Springs, Juke Joint Action. I got my t-shirt. I'm so glad to have experienced that. Another thing I had done before that, I went to Miami University, and P. Frank Williams came, and that was like I was grateful for that. I mean, come on, this is one of the writers for like the Source magazine. He's produced some great documentaries on hip hop, the hip hop culture. He grew up in the hip hop culture. He knows where it comes from, the basement. You know what I'm saying? And he like some people say, I got it from the mud. He got it from the basement. You know, and I mean, he was there, but I appreciate. When people of that caliber, that stature, and that notoriety will still come back and teach and show and share. And he came to show some students in us another face of hip hop. You know, a face, the intelligent face of hip hop, because so often hip hop can be obscured with what is so overly commercialized.
Yes.
And he was talking about how hip hop was once we had more at stake. We had more to lose. So our conversation was different versus hip hop today.
Right.
Which I posed it to him. I posed the question like, well, I asked him about poets, and he said that they were the OGs of poetry. But the young people, they still have something to say. They're still powerful in their own right. And that was a 200% agreed thing. They're just not fighting the power for the people. They're fighting for the individuality. See us for who we are. Accept us for who we are collectively. Right. And it just was amazing just to see these powerful beings, these prominent figures in history come back and give back to us. Yeah, so that was what I got. And even Puff Daddy talked about being in the now. He, you grind, you do that thing, and you capitalize on it, and you do it and stay focused and go as hard as you can with it. He said by the time he was 13 years old, from his paper route, he was making $750 a week just because he didn't want to see his mother's face sad again because she couldn't provide for him when he wanted a pair of shoes. He said he never wanted to see. So that one moment, in that now, it changed his life for the rest of his life and the rest of his mother's life. That now changed his forever. So in that, I'm being cognizant of my purpose and poetry and its power and words and humility and gratitude, because that can very well change the rest of my forever. Yeah. So that's where I'm at in the moment. I'm in awe and I'm grateful. Yeah.
I like that because in my day job, I do that every day. Mm-hmm. I am, or at least I try to be, what my students need right now. Mm-hmm. And someone made the comment to me last week, and it really it hurt me to my soul and irritated me to the point where I'm going to go harder now. Mm-hmm. Because I'm doing all of these things for my students because this is what they need right now. And whether it pays off in this huge way down the line, I don't know that. I can't think about that. I can't worry about that and focus on that. But what I can focus on and what I can affect is there right now by me being there for them right now. So like the comment was made to me, well, you're doing all of this stuff to help your student get out of jail and he's just going to disappoint you in the future. Well, first of all, that may be true. I don't know that.
No, we don't even give
but
any
I'm not
going
to, I'm not going to speak anything like that into existence.
Right.
And I don't have any control over his life past graduation. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to put him in touch with people that can take him to that next level where I know at this point, this is my limit. Like I've got you to this point and I can't take you to the next phase, but this person can. Mm-hmm. He deserves that. They all deserve that. So for somebody who works with me in the capacity of working with young children, tell me to stop because he's only going to disappoint me in the future. It's just going to make me go harder for him because I'm going to go harder for him now so that he doesn't end up disappointing me in the future, according to this person. And I was
that makes me think of just how they had everybody put their phone in a case and lock it up. We have to do that in everyday life. Yeah. Not metaphorically, we have to do it. I mean, you have to turn the phone off, turn the conversation off to people that talk like that, especially when you know that you are operating in purpose. Right. Especially when you know it is a part of the plan. Like I knew that last night was going to be a part of the plan. Now, sure, a little bit of, doubt gets in there. That fear thing is real. That gets in there. But I kept saying I'm gonna get close to Dave Chappelle one day. I'm gonna meet Dave Chappelle one day. I'm gonna do poetry for Dave Chappelle one day. You're gonna be on stage next to Dave Chappelle. Yes, and this is gonna happen. I mean, so and why is this gonna happen? I want the kids to see he's a real person. I want them to see this level of greatness can be achieved. I want them to see what it looks like to be successful and to still be connected and how to do it successfully. Like. He tuned all that other stuff out. He had to. But at the same time, I don't forget about you. I didn't forget about any of you. I still love you. So I love that you still move forward and being committed to your purpose as an educator to continue to do the work. And as a poet, A. Slate, look here. Next time you get a chance to grab the mic, you better grab that thing. You better grab that mic, okay? But we have to be positive. Our mindfulness minute for this week is be positive. Optimistic thinking focuses on what's going well in life. The beautiful, the fun, the well done, rather than the ugly, boring, and potentially hazardous. An optimist sees a glass half full, as the saying goes, and even puts a flower in it. Why? Seeing life as beautiful and fun increases not only your happiness, but also the happiness of those around you. When you get better, everything around you gets better.
Come through. Come through.
Whenever you are faced with a tough situation, do your best to see all of it, including potential silver linings. Staying positive helps you weather life's storms, big and small. That is our mindfulness minute for the week. In our self-care assignment this week. Oh, Slade, if you gonna worry, then don't pray now.
You sound like my grandma.
We have to curb our worry, wart tendencies. Now, I want y'all to know I'm no expert on self-care. I am going through it with you. That's why it's fly with us. We are growing together. We glowing through it together. Glowing and growing together. Okay. Are you a worry wart though?
Yes.
Right? How many of the following describe you? You find yourself worrying about things that are extremely unlikely, such as suffering from a freak accident or developing an illness you have no reason to believe you would develop. Do you find yourself doing that? I used to freak out every time I knew it was going to be a crowd of people in the room. Like, oh God, I got agoraphobia. I can't do this. They are watching me. I'm going to panic. Fear is created. Fear is created. Just go ahead. Just be great. Enjoy the moment. You often lose sleep worrying about what would happen to you if you lost a loved one, or what would happen to your loved ones if they lost you. Do you feel compelled to control the behaviors of others because you worry that they can't take care of themselves? Are you overly cautious about engaging in any behavior that could result in harm or hurt to you or to those around you, even if the risk is small, such as driving a car, flying in an airplane, or visiting a big city? If even a couple of these worry wart characteristics describe you, you probably worry more than you have to. Make a list of 10 things you can do to reduce your stress. Also, list all those worries and then assess the real possibility that each will come to pass. Often we worry needlessly, and life is just too short. Remember, when you're focusing on the now and being present now, and I'm thankful for all my teaching that I've had on being present. But when you're focusing on being in the now, you got to remember, oh, that's temporary. Everything is temporary. You only a breath away from the next moment. This too shall pass. Keep it moving. We're going on to our brain science.
So, of course, there is science. There's science behind everything. So the science of staying present. Research into mindfulness has shown the benefits of staying present and of gently turning toward difficulty. Mindfulness-based relapse prevention trains people with addictive habits to manage their cravings mindfully by staying present to the sensations of craving rather than trying to distract from them, avoid them, or defeat them. In a large trial, mindfulness-trained patients drank and used drugs significantly less than those who were treated with cognitive behavioral approaches. And a control group, there's always got to be a control group, who attended a 12-step psychoeducation group, the authors of the study concluded that mindfulness was the most successful approach, especially over the long term.
Sounds like mind over matter really works.
Mind over matter. There are benefits to staying present with physical as well as emotional discomfort even. Fidel Zedin, I never say his name right, and his colleagues suggest that meditation practice is associated with brain changes that indicate and reflect shifts in people's experience of and relationship with pain. Mediators show decreased activity in the primary somatory sensory cortex, which is the area of the brain involved in registering pain. They noticed increased activity in these areas involved in a regulation of pain. When you turn toward the pain, it increases. When you fixate on it, it gets worse. If you don't think about it, not so much. Like my grandma.
If you don't feed it, it cannot eat.
Exactly. So, you know, like the old parable says, you have the evil in you, have the good in you. Which one grows? The one you feed. So in this aspect, staying in the moment and meditating is
I like that.
the ultimate self-care practice to be able to experience all parts of life. And on our Facebook page, there actually was a self-care assignment that said, look around you, find 3 beautiful things, and don't forget to include yourself. Stay present, be present, be in the now. Every day, every opportunity is another gift to experience it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm here for it all. Even in the ugly parts, you know, like you said, I focus on the bigger picture. Out here, what can't nobody else see, what you have inside of you, your vision and your desires and your wants that's inside of you, nobody else can see that. Right. Go ahead and keep looking at that, focus on that until it manifests, until it becomes real. And also, don't spin your wheels trying to make other people see it.
No, because they ain't gonna be able to see it. Can't nobody get in your head, man. Can't nobody get in your heart.
And I told, you know, a good friend of mine, there are some things, some pieces of you that the world doesn't deserve to see. There's beauty inside of you that nobody else deserves to see except for you. So be in that moment, see your beauty, I'm letting
them see all my beauty, girl. I'm letting my forehead out.
I know, I'm not saying, you know,
I know
don't let it out. But even when you let it out, always keep a little piece of something that's for you. Because in some cases, even your detractors are listening. And they're taking from you all of your beauty that you put out.
Oh, that draining thing.
And it will drain you, and then people will take your ideas. Like when I was pregnant with my children, I waited to the last minute to tell people what I was naming my children because I didn't want anybody to take my baby's name. It's my baby's name. And you have people to be like, oh, that's a beautiful name, and the next thing you know, you got 15 people named Asante, and you're like, wait a minute, you stole my baby name.
Just stay present, stay in the now, enjoy the moment. Beauty is all around you because it is inside of you. Love, peace, happiness, joy, it is all within. Let some of that out. Let it all out.
Let it out.
Let it all out. Let somebody else catch some. I love y'all, and I'm living so good right now in this joyous moment. Life. So I hope y'all living y'all blessed life too. Hey.
You can find us on SoundCloud. No, keep that going.
On Facebook,
on YouTube,
Instagram.
Interact with us, fly with us, love yourself. Yes. We love you. I love you.
I love you. And you can email us with questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. Hey now, fly with us, LA@gmail.com. We out of here. Peace.